Okay, everybody, we're about ready to start. There's still seats here available.
Where's mine?
Okay, that's mine. I'm going to introduce.
That's
and
mine.
then
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get started about 10 seconds here. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for the grand opening of the new Flower Bluff Police Substation. My name is Jeff Edmonds, and I'm the Engineering Services Director for the city. For those of you that don't know, Engineering Services is the department that manages the delivery of the city's capital improvement projects, of which this is one of many. We typically have 50 to 60 projects under construction at any given point in time. Now, we enjoy celebrating these projects just as much as anyone in engineering. However, we also breathe a sigh of relief when we successfully complete a project. As anyone watching the news recently has been reminded, there's a lot that can go wrong, and sometimes in a big way, on a capital project. So there's a little bit of luck involved in successful project delivery. Of course, in engineering, we've also found that the better you manage, the luckier you get. Now, more important than successful management of a project is providing the vision and the resources to successfully deliver a project. And it's my honor and pleasure today to introduce one of the individuals who provides that vision for a better Corpus Christi, Mayor Paulette Guajardo.
I'm sorry, I had James' business card that fell there and I couldn't pick it up, darn it. Well, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing? All right, I know the sun is bright and not all of us are under the tent, so we'll get this moving right along. It's a pleasure to be here to celebrate another milestone, not only for Corpus Christi, but for our beloved Flower Bluff. And that is a huge deal. Every single time we unveil anything in any part of town, it is a new day for Corpus Christi. Yes, thank you for nodding and agreeing over there. Rising Tide, thanks for being here. So first, I want to recognize our elected officials joining us today. So we have at-large council member John Martinez. Please stand. At-large council member Mike Pusley. District 2 Representative Ben Molina. We have Pat Aldridge with CCPD. Where's Pat? There you are. Hi, Pat. We have Judith Mancia with Texas DPS. Where is Judith? There you are. Velma Solis Garcia, Flower Bluff ISD Superintendent. And we have Sheriff Hooper. Where is Sheriff? There you are. Nueces County. And we have our Chairman, Todd Hunter. There he is. Chairman, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you all joining us. So the safety of our residents is our top priority, always has been, always will be. This substation represents just that. It's a commitment to securing the safety of our residents, and it shows that. By the building itself screams that behind me. It is a public safety hub where residents can walk in, they can walk into a station, speak to an officer, request a report, do whatever it is whatever inquiry you have, you can now do that, and in a friendly way. That is the point, is we, the City of Corpus Christi, we, CCPD, want to be out there with you, and this is the way to do it because it's inviting. It says, please come in, park your car, come in into the nice, cool building and address whatever it is that you would like to address. So we're very proud of that. And as our city grows, it's imperative that we accommodate the needs of the community. And this is one way that we are doing that. We currently have multiple substations that are being planned, just like this one. We have a far south side police substation and a Calallen police station that we are, I'm not sure if Peter's going to talk about it, but we are talking about that, or one may be in design, I believe. And so this is very important to us. I'm also proud to report that the fiscal year 2023 proposed budget includes the proposed addition of 25 new police officers, increasing our total police sworn officer strength to 491. Yes, and that is an all-time record. And that is your city council listening to you and listening to our police chief, because we needed that. It's way, way, way overdue. And I'm not to rain on the parade, but I'm going to be real here. 20 years ago, we still had more police officers than we do today. So I know with the council support, we are going to continue to work on this issue, being fiscally responsible, but continuing to prioritize you, because that's what comes first, is the safety of this community. So we're committed to protecting CCPD, and the City of Corpus Christi in support of is committed to protecting life and property. I want to thank you all. I won't prolong this. Today, this is a symbol of our vision for our community. And so I want to especially thank Chief Markle. I said this in my State of the City. Your leadership is inspirational, Chief. It is inspirational. You are a huge asset to Corpus Christi. And it's my honor to work alongside you. So now I would like to introduce our city manager, Peter Zanone.
Great, thank you, Mayor, for those great words. I'm Peter Zanone, the city manager for the city of Corpus Christi. And before I begin my comments, we do want to recognize a few other individuals that are here. A building like this doesn't happen without the leadership and the expertise of designers and then contractors who construct it. So the building was here before. It had a mixed use, and we had Janak and Associates design what we're going to see momentarily and what we can see outside. So with us here today from Janak is Nick Janak and his wife Sophia. We want to thank you both. And then our local construction contractor, Barcom, many of their representatives are here, including Ed, Don Williams, Mike Douglas, David Hoffman, and Patrick Hoffman. You guys are here, raise your hand. All right. Now, the mayor just said it, but this city is committed to public safety. The entire city council is. I am as a city manager. We know the chief is for sure. And this is a great example of how committed we are. This is the first police substation that we have in this city of Corpus Christi that is over 100 years old, Chief. So we're proud to be here today. We're committing to not only facilities, but great equipment and the number of police officers to serve our community. We know we're a growing community. We are the 8th largest in the state of Texas, and so we need to have an appropriate police force to keep us safe. Our crime rate is low, but when more and more people move, we want to make sure we continue to be a safe community. And Shirley's going to talk about that momentarily. So as an example of that is us responding to the mayor's challenge to add in this budget that we presented to City Council a few weeks ago, not 5, not 10, but 25 new additional police officer positions. The mayor challenged us to do that. We did that, and the council will vote on that in a few weeks. That brings, as the mayor said, our total police officer count to 491, which is tremendous. Also, as part of the proposed budget, we have $21.1 million for a brand new police training academy, also first for the city. Right? That actually, that does. So we know that our police officers retire after distinguished careers, many of them 30 plus years. So that training academy is used to train new cadets. Many of them are in their 19s, 20s, early 20s, 21. So it's a modern state-of-the-art training facility. And today the bids come in. Yeah, the bids come in. So we're hoping it's going to be right in or a little below budget, in fact. But this will be a first. We'll be meeting everybody again when we do the groundbreaking in the coming weeks. And the mayor talked about this as well to show the continued investment in our bond program that we're having the voters consider this summer, a total of $5 million for 2 new police substations. 2 new ones, right? First one would be in the south side of our city, where there's not much city presence at all, and so that'll be a great city facility to begin to mark some of our city facilities and our fastest growing parts of the city, the south side. And then also dollars would be for the one in Cal Allen. There's one today, but it's not accessible to the public. It's barely accessible to the police with all your swiping in that you have to do. So we'll have 2 brand new substations as well. But before we get to those in the future, let's talk about this one, and soon we'll be inside out of the heat. This one here is a renovated state-of-the-art police substation. We expanded this building from the original 1,200 square feet to 4,300 square feet. So, yeah, right? Right, 3 years ago, I was down here meeting some of the Flower Bluff residents. I think we were at the Parker Senior Center over there, and Chief said, hey, stop into my police substation when you get a chance, you know, if you can. Yeah, so I was by myself. There was nobody here, so there was a door that was propped open, so I went in there. I'm like, oh my God, Chief, is this the substation? I mean, it was bad, and it was only less than a third of this building. So we investigated who else was using this building. We own it, and there was another department that was using the majority of the building, but very intermittently. They only met in there once a month. I'm like, come on, guys, let's turn this thing over to the entire police department to have a real police substation rather than a 1,000 square foot closet. So, right. So this police substation serves Flower Bluff and Padre Island regions. It's known as, for us here that care about this, the Bravo District, right? This will serve the Bravo District. The building is designed by Janak to accommodate 43 police officers and their staff. Improvements include a brand new interior rebuild. There's new electrical, new HVAC, new plumbing technology. I have a long list here. When I was reading it this morning, basically the building is brand new with the exception of the shell, right? Everything's been redone. The interior includes a new armory, a lobby, there's workstations, restrooms, locker rooms, and a briefing room for the police officers. So the officers will be moving into the station later today. I think some furniture is still en route because of our supply chain issues, but it's operational and the police will be using it. And one of the best things, and the mayor talked about this, is that this is the people's building, right? We want our people to come in to talk to the police officers. Anybody here that's maybe not associated with the city but as a resident, drop in anytime. The police want to get to know you. And our police get to know the community. That's why here in Corpus Christi, we care about our police, and the police cares about our community because of that great relationship that we have, knowing that we can talk to our police officers and knowing that they care about us, the community. So we encourage people to come on and meet your police officers. The more they meet and know you, the better we can keep our community safe. So in preparing for today, we said, you know what, since this is the People's Police Substation, let's have a person speak other than a city official. And we couldn't think of anybody better than Shirley Thornton to do that. And so we're going to have Shirley come up to give her perspective. You're going to do great, Shirley, don't worry. Yeah, on this.
Well, it's my thought that you can't really appreciate what you have if you don't know how far you've come. So I'm going to give you a little history of the law and order in Flower Bluff. And there has been some, yes. Law and order in Flower Bluff in the early days was kind of a county matter because the settlers on the Encinal Peninsula were about 15 miles from Corpus Christi proper and the roads were often not passable. It would be logical to deduce that the people handled most matters themselves. But as the community grew, the need for law enforcement also grew, and the county became more of a presence. In fact, in 1947, the county partnered with NAS Corpus Christi to use Waldron Field as a prison farm, those of you didn't know that, for low-level lawbreakers. Warden Dudley Timmon ran the prison until 1950 when it was closed. On June 17, 1950, the causeway to North Padre Island opened, drawing countless visitors to Flower Bluff and Padre Island. The need for law enforcement in these areas resulted in Jewel Ross being elected in 1952 as the first District 8 constable. A constable's office was built in '54, just at the start of the causeway. When Ross retired in 1960, Johnny Haynes was elected, taking office in 1961, and this is where the city comes in. This was the year of the Great War between Flower Bluff and the city of Corpus Christi.
That year, the city held an election to annex Flower Bluff, and Flower Bluff held an election to incorporate. The election was, let's just say, questionable, so much so that many Flower Bluff residents took it to court. They refused to follow Corpus Christi laws, ignored building codes, didn't pay city taxes, and some would not even recognize the authority of the CCPD patrolman who drew this beat. The final decision by the courts was that the election was legal, and the Flower Bluff people bowed to superior authority and became part of the city. The whole story would make for a great movie. Over the next 15 years, the people of Flower Bluff began to rely more and more upon CCPD as the little town that never was experienced continued growth, as did the island. It took both CCPD and the constable's office to maintain law and order on the Encinal Peninsula and on the island. In 1976, the Bureau of Outdoor Recreation awarded the city of Corpus Christi a $220,400 grant for a Flower Bluff area park located at the corner of Walden and Graham Roads in Flower Bluff. It was named the Parker Memorial Park after Coach George Parker, a tennis coach at Flower Bluff ISD, who was killed in a plane crash along with his wife and 2 companions. The grant money was used to build a swimming pool, a bathhouse, 3 tennis courts, picnic and other facilities. Bond dollars, which were approved for the construction of the park and its amenities, made up the difference of a total cost of $440,000. One of the facilities was a county city building. The total floor area at that time was 4,200 square feet, and the interior was divided for 2 separate uses. The Waldron side of the building was dedicated as a small Flower Bluff branch of the La Retama City Library in 1978, which replaced the bookmobile that had served Flower Bluff residents for many years. The west side of the building was a branch of the county health department where children went to get their shots and expectant mothers could receive prenatal and postnatal care. In 1998, a partnership between the city and FBISD resulted in the building of the Janet Hart Library next to the Flower Bluff High School. The city then converted the satellite library to a city utility office, pay station, that utilized the book drop, and I think it's still over there, it looked like it was, book drop drawer as a drive-through pay station. CCPD began occupying this space in 2003, and the remaining half of the building previously used by the health department was at that time vacant. Today, we can't imagine Flower Bluff without CCPD, and this permanent substation speaks volumes to how far we've come. I thank our elected officials, our city manager and his staff, and Chief Markle and his department for this positive presence in our community. As a citizen, I appreciate you recognizing the importance of having a full-service substation in this community. As the Flower Bluff ISD Board President, I appreciate CCPD's willingness to work with our FBISD PD, the Constable's Office, along with other law enforcement agencies to protect and serve the children of our district. We live in a strange time, and that sometimes requires an all-hands-on-deck mentality. The story of law and order in Flower Bluff and on the island is one of building relationships and working together to meet the safety and security needs of an area that continues to grow. We're glad you're here, and we back the blue. Thank you.
Shirley, thank you for that. I was telling the mayor, when I first saw the building, I thought it was a former bank, so that's great to know that it was actually built because of that drive-through, that window that's over there. Right, great. So, folks, we're almost done. We want our police chief to speak to us as well, and then after him, we'll do the ribbon cutting, then we'll get to go inside. I know it's a little warm out here, but Chief Markle, come on up and say a few words for us. Yes, sir.
Isn't that great? Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mayor. This is, well, first of all, we've been here a long time, and as the sheriff said, and all of these officers back here can attest to, we spent many a briefing in that little locker on the other side. So long, in fact, I remember Sheriff Hooper when he was young, he'd tie his horse to that tree right over there. Yeah. But in all honesty, this is much more than a building. This is much, much more than just a building. This is indicative of strong leadership, of a city manager who can get things done, of a mayor and council who will understand that there's a bigger picture than just appreciate the officers, that we need those so badly, but this is part of a big picture. This is your police department investing in the community and the community investing back in the police department. That's why all of you are here. All of you have been partners with us in so many things over so many years, that we have built a dynamic in this city that is unlike most major cities in the nation. and we are a major city. I say that all the time. We like to fool ourselves and think we're Mayberry, but we're not. We're a major city. In most states in this United States, we would be the capital city with our size. We just happen to be in Texas, right? So when there's 7 bigger cities. So it is wonderful to see us behaving like a professional city. And it is wonderful to see that the city manager, the mayor, and this council, with all their strength, moving us forward into a new realm of professionalism. This is not just officers working beats and being crime fighters. This is problem solving. This is investing in the community investing back in the police department. And this is a model that can be replicated throughout the city. It's a model that has to be replicated throughout the city if we're to continue to grow as a profession. Look no further than some of the issues that we see in northern cities than to know why we need to become more and more professional in what we do and how we do it. And this is indicative of all those things. And I want to thank you as the Chief of Police of Corpus Christi, one of the finest police departments in this nation. It's not just my opinion. I hear that over and over again. I want to thank all of you who have done the Lord's work, the hard work, done those things to make this happen. And to all of you police officers who have worked in substandard buildings and become professional in spite of your surroundings, not because of your surroundings. In spite of what you've had, you've remained professional, you've remained diligent in your duties, and you've earned the respect and love of this community, and I want to thank you for that. And with the coming investments of community-based substations, of a professional training agency and more officers, professional training building and more officers, we have nowhere to go but up. No other path but forward. So thank you. Thank you from the chief, and on behalf of the Corpus Christi Police Department, I want to thank you for all that you do and continue to do. All right.
Okay, thank you, Chief. That was wonderful. So that will conclude our ceremony, the speaking part. So now if everyone the elected officials will please come up. Chief, come up, and we'll actually cut the ribbon now. Cool.